What's up? Ranger578 here, and welcome to XDefiant. And yo, today it's gonna be a commentary video on how I feel about this game, stuff like that. Because, well, I mean, it's the latest Ubisoft game, man. You know, when it comes to Ubisoft games, everybody talks about Ubisoft game. Let's just say that, okay? And I gotta be honest, when it comes to Ubisoft themselves, I don't think they really make bad games. It's actually somebody made a really good video on this, and it's titled Ubisoft don't make bad games, they just make infuriating decisions. And I honestly cannot agree more. I can't really say that Far Cry 6 sucks. I can't say Valhalla sucks. I'm not saying that they're amazing or anything like that either. I mean, really, they're just the same game they've been making for years. But they're okay for, at the end of the day, they're good. They're decent games, all right. But the decisions that they make, it's so controversial and it's so infuriating. And I can make a whole video on that, but there's plenty of other videos you guys can watch that has way better quality, you know, in terms of the video and content than I can do. So I'm gonna leave that there and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm not gonna talk about the latest Assassin's Creed controversy or anything like that, because listen, man, that's its own video, number one. Number two, I don't care about Assassin's Creed. I mean, I've lost my sense of you know, caring for a long time. And yeah, I love Japan, you know, I love, you know, the samurai era, stuff like that. Listen, man, I already got my Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan, okay? It's called Ghost of Tsushima, alright? So, yeah. I'm going to leave it at that, and stuff like that. But we're not talking about, you know, mainly Ubisoft. We're not talking about Assassin's Creed or, you know, the bad decisions that they made. We're here to talk about XDefiant, because I gotta say, this game is alright. I mean, again, it's not amazing. It's not terrible. It's good. It's just good. And really, I think what makes this game to me is more the simplicity of it. You know, the characters, they're easy to get around with. You know, the abilities, the skills, they're quite simple on paper. You know, you have a guy who has a drone that can, you know, that detonates the stuff after going forward. You got a guy that puts a shield up. You got a guy that, you know, makes him invisible, stuff like that. I mean, they're nothing too inventive or creative. Again, more on the simple side, but that's okay. I'm totally down with that. And honestly, there are no perks in this game or kill streaks, with I'll talk a little bit more about it later. But overall, I mean, again, this game is more simple than Call of Duty, and I think that's either gonna make or break for most people, especially COD players themselves. Listen, you guys have been, you know, used to the kill streaks, used to the MMR system and stuff like that, used to perks, all that stuff. This game has none of those stuff. And while I am personally not much of a competitive player, I am so glad there's no MMR system in this game. Which, if you don't know, MMR basically, you know, you have a hidden rating, and you know, depending on how well you played, you know, your matches, right? And depending on your rating, you should be going against players who are, if not the same, around your skill level. And it sounds like it makes a good, it sounds really good on paper, right? You know, you're playing against players who are on your same skill level, so nobody too high, nobody too low, stuff like that. But listen, if you're not playing to your skill level, or maybe you're just having an off game, you're gonna hinder yourself and your teammates, and it's not something that I'm really into. And I know that's kind of like looking into the bad side and stuff like that, but listen, man, I mean, I mainly play casual games, like single player games and stuff like that. I like single player games, and you know, feeling like I have to sweat every match, or I'm just gonna straight up lose, doesn't feel good, you know. And I know, you know, people like, we just don't care about winning and stuff like that. Listen, man, it's not that I care about losing. It's that I don't like to lose every freaking game because I'm having, you know, because I'm not playing to my highest potential, you know, essentially. But that's just me. That's just my opinion about the MMR system. I'm glad it's not in XDefiant. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be in Call of Duty, but I haven't really played a Call of Duty game in years. I mean, I made a video on Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, but I mean, I personally, I never stuck with it, okay? And I haven't stuck with the Call of Duty game in years. And and I heard that, you know, Call of Duty has the MMR system. Nobody likes it. They kept it there anyways because people were still playing it. And yeah, but this game, no MMR from what I know, and I'm happy about that. Another thing is though is that there's no perks or kill streaks, and I mean, I have mixed feelings about this too, because at the end of the day, I mean, you know, it is more about, okay, you got a perk. There's no overpowered perks, just kill streak that, you know, somebody can get and then just ruin your kill streak, ruin your gameplay, stuff like that. You know, it really just comes down to who has the better gameplay and the better teammates, because this is a team game after all. But, you know, that's what essentially it comes down to. And I gotta say that even though I think that's fine, honestly, I think I would have preferred if they had some sort of kill streak or something, you know, because me personally, I like being rewarded for being really good. And sometimes, you know, I'll have a game, you know, I mean, as you can see, I use the sniper rifle a lot. I don't know why, but it feels more challenging and I kind of like it. And so I'm not saying, you know, I want to be part of FaZe or anything like that, but it's just more of a challenging gameplay than just running around with an assault rifle or shotgun and stuff like that. But sometimes I'll be having a great match. I'll probably get like an 8-9 kill streak, stuff like that. And while it feels good, there's no team deathmatch, so it's not like I'm really contributing too much to the main objective of the game, which is either going to be hold a point or escort a payload, defend a payload, you know, stuff like that. You know, I mean, if there was a team deathmatch, maybe I wouldn't, you know, be, you know, up in arms about it as much. But there's no reward system really for being good. You know, again, I could be on a 9-10 player kill streak, and really at the end of the day, I'm just losing ammo, you know, and you know, I wish I could get something for having a good game. Okay, that's just me personally. You know, that's just how I roll. I like being rewarded stuff. But hey, maybe some people just like, again, the simplicity of, you know, not having to worry about that, not having to worry about freaking dogs running around one-shotting you and all that stuff. So, hey, you know what? If it works here and this game has a bright future, you know, because people are just playing this game, awesome. Speaking of which, the future of this game is going to be really interesting. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this one, because right now, you know, we're on the honeymoon phase, you know, and we're probably like, oh yeah, this is gonna kill Call of Duty unless they change their ways, stuff like that. Listen, I don't know how Call of Duty's been the past few years, but take it from somebody who used to be part of the Dead by Daylight community, okay? We've had a lot of Dead by Daylight quote-unquote killers come out over the years, and none of them stuck around. We have Evil Dead fail, we had VHS fail, we had Home Sweet Home fail. I mean, we had so many failures, and Dead by Daylight is still there, okay? And it's not going to change. I really don't know if this game is going to be that Call of Duty killer, but if you're not used to what I'm used to, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, killers on, you know, and stuff like that, be prepared, okay? Be prepared to be disappointed. That's all I'll say from there. But yeah, most likely, once people start getting good at this game and coming out of that honeymoon phase and stuff like that, regardless if they're, you know, old-fashioned Call of Duty players or maybe they never touched a Call of Duty game in their life, people are gonna get better at this game. And even though there is no MMR system, it's going to be a bit harder, a bit sweatier and stuff like that, especially for new players. So, and that's just how it is. I mean, people get a game, they suck at it at first, but once they play hours and hours and hours, they get really good. And when it comes to multiplayer games, I mean, that's just how it's going to be. And that's how this game is going to be in the next year and stuff like that. So we'll have to really wait and see how the Ubisoft balances the game. And not only that, but what kind of content they're going to be bringing. Listen, I really do like how they brought the Far Cry faction, the Division faction, Splinter Cell faction. I mean, it's really a cool concept how they brought different factions from different series of Ubisoft coming in, and it opens the doors to so many more. We might be getting a Rainbow Six, you know, faction soon. We might be getting a freaking Assassin's Creed faction. Maybe we'll get a Ravaged faction soon. Honestly, Ubisoft, if you guys put a Rabbit faction, you know, with the crazy bunnies and stuff like that, please please, oh god, do it. I will actually buy it, okay? This is a free-to-play game, but I will actually buy, you know, the Ravage faction just to play with the bunnies. But, no, seriously, though, I mean, the future is quite interesting in this game. I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for it. And, yeah, other than that, I really don't have too much else to say about this game. I mean, I don't want to make this video too long. There are a couple of problems with this game. I mean, usual day one multiplayer, you know, problems with the game. If you weren't here on the very first day, it came out, the servers crashed. That's nothing new. I mean, it happens to a lot of multiplayer games that just came out. One thing that does actually kind of, you know, twist my tits is sometimes, like, as you'll see in this clip, I'll shoot a girl, you know, point blank in the chest with a, you know, double barrel shotgun who has 20% less health, or, you know, 20% or less health, and somehow the hit doesn't register and she survives it. Or in this next clip here where I'm shooting, you know, somebody, you know, freaking quit scoping them in the chest, stuff like that, and then they kill me, and I look at their health bar and they're still at max health. It's bullshit. I hate it. It doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. It does happen. Also, what something that does happen more often than it really should is sometimes I'll be pressing the button to throw a grenade or use my ability, but I have to press it twice. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but sometimes if I just press it once, it does nothing. And yeah, it sucked. So also, I wouldn't mind if the ultimates would come out a little faster. You know, at least in Overwatch, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least have one ultimate. But it seems like regardless of how good or bad, you know, you're doing, especially how good you're doing, you're going to be getting your ultimate only once in the game. So I don't know. I mean, I don't like ultimate spams in Overwatch, so I do want to avoid an ultimate spam here, and maybe that's why they decided to make ultimates, you know, really slow. But I don't know, just a little bit faster, that'd be awesome. But those are just, you know, my suggestions and how I would want to make the game better. We'll just have to wait and see at the end of the day. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, end the video here. So yeah, if you don't like, you know, Call of Duty or Ubisoft, something like that, give this game a try. I mean, honestly, one of my friends who hasn't played a Call of Duty game since Warzone, he's hooked to this game. You know, he's been playing this game more than me, and that's saying a lot. So yeah, that's awesome. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the game, and yeah, man, hopefully this game has a bright future, you know, because I don't like seeing a game fail, you know, I don't like seeing a studio do bad, but even if it's Ubisoft, but hey, you know what, because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's not only us that suffered, but it's the devs, you know, the people that actually have wanted to create this game and had fun creating this game. They're the ones who suffered too, so we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.